Hey everybody, I'm back for more Q&A goodness. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in. I'm gonna try my very best to make this the last Q&A video because I know this is going on forever and I'm sure you guys are so sick of seeing these. So first question comes from Real Sea Moose, who asks, what would be your favorite Harvest Moon, Animal Parade, Bachelor, or Bachelorette? I think I actually answered this in the last Q&A that I did. So my favorite Bachelorette, who wins by a landslide, would be Phoebe. If you actually watch my playthrough, I talk about her enough to support that. And I would say if you're talking exclusively about Animal Parade, it would have to be Wizard, just because he's an Animal Parade exclusive, and I think he is really cool. I actually married him in my playthrough, obviously. But if you're talking about just the Wii franchise of games, it would definitely be Luke. Luke and Phoebe are my favorite. So thank you for your question. No Name, which is clever because they did like AHH instead of A. Clever. No Name 1 asks if I would ever try up stand-up comedy because I'm apparently a comedy genius. I appreciate you saying that, but I really don't think I'm funny at all. I feel like a lot of my humor is kind of cheap and borrowed from other people. Like a lot of stuff is either like memes or inside jokes, or just sarcasm, extremely sarcastic, obviously. So I feel like if I was to do stand-up comedy, I wouldn't be able to come up with anything that was like legitimately funny, like a good, solid, funny joke. So I wouldn't do stand-up comedy because I'm sure I would get booed off of stage. But thank you for saying that you think I'm funny. The compliment's always nice, and I definitely appreciate it. Next question comes from Kawi or Kai. It's I don't know how to pronounce that word. Kawi Amayahe. I butchered that so bad. I'm so sorry. Their question is, you always talk about work in your videos. So what exactly do you do for work? Keep in mind you can be as vague as you need to be if it's something you'd rather not share. That's the problem. I love my job and I love my line of work, but most people don't want to hear about it. So here is my turn to talk about it for those of you who don't know in specific. So what I do for a living is I essentially take care of people who can no longer take care of themselves in one regard or another. So my official title is a residential care attendant, and I do have a college level certificate. So I do have something that I had to go to school for. And I have a certificate which very, very luckily allows me to work in a lot of different aspects of the healthcare field. So I can work in hospitals, in group homes, day programs, like daycares, senior citizen homes. Like I can pretty much work anywhere with anybody who is, newborn right to deathbed. So I'm very fortunate for that. I specialize in seniors. So the people that I look after are generally 65 and older, although I do look after people who are younger if they have some sort of disease that makes it so they, can't take care of themselves. So I not only cater to people's physical needs, but I do cater to their emotional needs. So think about everything that you do in a day. So think about when you get up in the morning, you probably get dressed, you brush your hair, brush your teeth, wash yourself, do like your face. Some people do their makeup. Gentlemen, you probably shave in the morning. If you've got the shadow going on, you probably use the bathroom. You shower, you bathe, you eat. And then me, I'm actually the person who does all those things for that person. So if someone is paralyzed and can't use their legs and they're in a wheelchair, I use a machine to get them up. I wash them, feed them, whatever they need. So a lot of people feel my job is kind of gross because I obviously deal with a lot of like bodily fluids. Obviously I deal with feces and urine and blood and vomit, spit, snot, all that stuff. But in the grand scheme of things, to me, it is such a small part of my job because of all the other just great things I get from it. A lot of these people, especially since they're older, really appreciate the company, they appreciate the help. And it is kind of a sad situation because when you're in a senior citizens home, which by the way is where I work at what we call residential care, essentially. Basically, when you put your grandparents in a nursing home or something, that's where I come in. So a lot of these people, they're not here by choice. So, because they can't change their circumstances in life and they are getting ready to just pass away, I always try to see it as me trying to make their lives the best that I possibly can before that time happens, because they're in a situation that they really can't help. So, yeah, I really like my job. I love seniors. I have nothing but the utmost respect for them. I don't know why people seem to just really hate old people. There's some really mean ones out there, but I mean, you need to think about how you feel. Sometimes you feel really sad, or you feel really depressed, or you feel really angry, and they're people too. So you not only deal with physical needs, but you also deal with people's emotional needs. I deal with physical disabilities, like I said, so I deal with people, I would say 90% of the people I take care of have had a stroke, which either leaves, them paralyzed on one side of their body or on one limb, or it's affected their cognitive ability. I deal with people who have had things like heart attacks, people who have something like a really terrible disease like multiple sclerosis. They've had it for 30 years and it's eventually now just taken over their lives to the point that they can't do anything on their own. And I deal a lot as well with Alzheimer's, which is just a terrible, terrible thing to have. And yeah, like I said, I just try to enrich their lives the best I can, and I can never express how much I love my job. It's something I knew I wanted to do right out of high school, and it's really special when you actually know what you want to do for, maybe not the rest of your life, but for a long time. I feel a lot of people don't have, that gift is really what it is. So that's what I do for a living. Summer Country 7 asks, what my favorite genre in books, movies, music, etc. is. So books, definitely fantasy. I like fantasy reads because I can really build like a picture in my mind when I'm reading the book of what I think the area or the characters look like, which I really enjoy. I just feel it gets me more involved in that piece of reading. Movies, I don't watch a lot of, but I would say action if I had to choose. Music, I went over when somebody had asked me what kind of bands I listen to and my favorite musician. Again, it just kind of ranges. I kind of like a little bit of everything. Primarily pop and rock is what I listen to. And I know you asked a second question, but I can't remember where it is because you left it on a different video. I think you were asking me something along the lines of if one of a video game character was real, like Mario or Zelda or Link or somebody, what would I do? So if I got that question wrong, you can correct it in the comments or message me and I'll answer it a little bit better for you. But it's a little bit vague. What would I do? It would depend on the character, I guess. Someone like Link, I think if he was a real person, he'd be a handsome hunk of man, let me tell you. So I'd at least want to hang out with him, maybe, try my shot. But someone, I don't know, he doesn't talk, so that might be a little boring. It depends, again, it just depends on what video game character. Peach is someone I really wouldn't want to hang out with. Zelda, I'd probably hang out with. I'd just listen to her play the harp, or tell tales about how she rules the entire kingdom of Hyrule. Mario, I don't know if I want to hang out with him. He's too obsessed with killing defenseless Goombas and turtles and chasing after a woman who has absolutely no interest in him whatsoever. So yeah, it would depend on the character, but I mean, if video game characters were real, that would be so cool, because there are definitely some characters that I would friggin' love to meet. Are you kidding me? Like, just, yeah, I really wish. So yeah, again, sorry if I didn't answer that question correctly. I actually didn't prepare because I knew that you asked the question, but then I completely forgot to go look it up before I started this video. So I've only got a few more. Let's take a look. Okay, so last 2 questions and then I'm done. Woo! Let's see. MS16bit asks me what my favorite Harvest Moon game is. Again, I do believe I answered this in the last Q&A I did, but for those of you who didn't watch that, I would have to say my favorite one would be A Wonderful / Another Wonderful Life, because it's the first Harvest Moon game I ever played. It got me into Harvest Moon, obviously, and my love for it and my passion for it. And it's a game that was different in terms of game mechanics and just kind of how they went about designing it. And I really wish more Harvest Moon games would use the formula, you know, like every second is a minute and 10 days in a season instead of 30. I think that was insanely genius, which is what I miss most about that game. You know, something that I genuinely miss that I really wish more games would do. So there are so many things about that game that just, again, got me started, and that I just really think it's just one of the most unique games in the series that I think is just really overlooked in my opinion. So that hands down is my favorite Harvest Moon game. The last question comes from Sobenfedge. So he asks me what made me Let's Play in the first place. So this is kind of more of a story. I was actually more interested in the software than I was actual Let's Playing, because like I said, I didn't really know that this whole Let's Playing thing like existed, because I never used to go on YouTube. But I was just kind of browsing through videos one day. I really don't remember what I was looking at. It was really early in the morning. I was bored, and I thought, you know, that is so cool that people can capture like their screen, and they can, you know, look at what's on their screen and they can capture it and share it with other people. And I think that is really, really cool. So I decided that I was gonna go do some research on a program to see if I could get it working, because like I said, I'm not good with like technology and stuff, and so I had no idea that, you know, screen capture is really that simple. So I went and I got Hypercam, which was my first you know, Let's Playing kind of tool I used, and then I thought, well, I need something that I can actually show to people and something that I can actually use this with. And so I just looked in my games library and just randomly pulled up an emulated game, and then I thought, well, you know, gaming is something I'm good at. And at that time, I was looking at videos and I thought, hey, yeah, there's actually a lot of people in the community, or just in YouTube in general, who actually like record gameplay, and I think that's really cool, and that's something that I could do. At the time, I wasn't interested in making it into a legitimate thing. I didn't do commentary when I first started out, and I definitely didn't have any sort of, I guess, movements to get any sort of equipment or anything sorted out. So I posted, I think Friends of Mineral Town was my first game I ever posted on this channel, and I started getting views and I started getting comments, and then I started seeing that a lot of other people were into Harvest Moon, and yeah, and then it really, really quickly took off after that. Then I really started to feel like, hey, I can really help people with these videos, because I feel that is what I was put on this earth to do. That's my calling, is just to help people in whatever way I could. So I feel like I said, hey, I can really help people with these videos, and I can just kind of build more friends and build a community, and that's really what it's all about for me. Let's Playing and being on YouTube in general is just an audience and a community and just feeling like you belong somewhere. So I started getting more views and stuff, and then I looked at other people who were bigger, and I thought, like, holy crap, you can make a career out of this, and there's so many games that I enjoyed that I want to see what it looks like with commentary and how other people played it and tips and tricks and secrets. And in a matter of, I think, 2 months, I do believe, I was in the US visiting my fiance at the time. So then when I got home, I think in September of that year, you know, I got into it, considering that I started doing Magna Carta in October of that year. So I kind of just took it on myself to say, like, hey, I'm just gonna start this and see where it goes and see what I can do. So I feel like my Let's Playing journey, I guess, is a lot different than other people's, because yeah, I was 100% ignorant. I really had no idea that this huge community existed, and then when I did, I was completely blown away, and I was kind of happy. I was kind of happy that that people who have a hobby like I do, there's so many of us, and so many of us do things in different ways, and it's just, yeah, it's awesome. And I love the Let's Play community. I love you guys, and I loved your questions. So that's it. That's all the questions. So yeah, again, I'm so sorry I made these so incredibly long, because I didn't practice these, and a few of you added some questions after I posted the first video, which I didn't mind. I threw a couple of them in here, and that's it. So I really hope to do more of these in the future. I hope you guys found it as fun as I did. I hope you guys got to know me. If I didn't answer your question correctly, or you just want to chat with me, I always check my messages. And yeah, again, thanks for your support. Thanks for the 1,500 subs. And I will see you guys in the near future.